It's the same feeling every year. Selection Sunday is better than Christmas morning. The teams were picked, some didn't deserve it, some got screwed, maybe. The brackets were set. The first game of the first four might end up being the best game of the tournament.
As the madness has officially begun.
Yes, they were two 16 seeds, but it was a banger. With only seconds left, a football pass, a scramble, and a layup by Amar Knox sent Alabama State to a first-round matchup versus Auburn. Then, after 2 days of controversy, UNC beat the brakes off of San Diego State. The Tar Heels looked like the best offensive team in the country. RJ Davis, in possibly his last college basketball game, shot 66% from the field, including 6 for 6 from 3. UNC won 95-68 and probably made a few people take them deep in their brackets. Mount St. Mary's shot 57% from the field and ran away from American to match up against Duke. Two bubble teams and Xavier in Texas had a hard-fought game to end the first four. Future NBA lottery pick Trey Johnson dropped a game-high 23 points, only to lose 86-80, dropping them from the tournament and dropping head coach Rodney Terry from having a job. On to the first round, where the madness really begins, usually. Creighton and Louisville started us off with the 8-9 matchup. Louisville tricked everyone into thinking they were underseeded. I know a lot of people were confident in them. Creighton's Jeremiah Neal looked like LeBron James in this one, dropping 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. Stephen Ashworth's old ass extended his college career with a 22-5-5 game. The Blue Jays led by as much as 20 in this game, beat Louisville by 14, and reminded everyone that the ACC was in fact ass this year. Next, Yale coming into this game with some big dick energy after upsetting Auburn in the first round last year, got a tough draw versus Texas A&M. Pharrell Payne for the Aggies took 12 shots and only missed 2 in his 25 minutes to finish with a 25-point, 10-rebound double-double. A&M won by 9. High Point kept it close with Purdue for a little bit, but in the end, Braden Smith showed why he was the Big Ten Player of the Year, and Trey Kaufman-Renn showed America that he could fill in for Zach Edey as being Purdue's big freak. The Boilermakers almost doubled High Point in rebounding and won 75-63. Wisconsin couldn't get the three-ball going against Montana, but still ended up scoring 85 points. John Tonje, one of the best players in the country, had a very quiet game, but the Badgers were able to pull away and win 85-66. A very popular potential upset this year was UC San Diego versus Michigan. The Wolverines led by as much as 15 in this game, but ended up being close. Michigan's front court prevailed and it came away with a 68-65 win. Unfortunately, we don't get to hear maybe the coolest name, the Tritons, again. They just missed pulling off the upset. 1 seed Houston played SIU Edwardsville. Ever heard of them? Me neither. It was light work for the Cougars of Houston, of course. They held SIUE to 40 points and won 78-40. Clemson, possibly another dark horse in this tournament, played maybe the worst first half of basketball in the history of basketball. The Tigers were down 31-13 at halftime. Yes, 13 points in 20 minutes. I mean, it was probably because of this guy. He has taken the internet by storm. I'll get into that later. That god-awful start didn't stop Clemson from making it a close game. Somehow they only lost by 2, 69-67. McNeese pulls off the first upset of the tourney, and the legend of Amir Khan lives on. Number 1 overall seed Auburn was tested early versus those pesky Hornets of Alabama State. With 1:30 left in the first half, Auburn only had a 1-point lead until it went on a 9-0 run to end the half. Auburn started playing like Auburn and ended up winning 83-63. Bama State covered 32.5. Good teams win, great teams cover. Probably the hardest decision in my bracket, VCU versus BYU, and of course I picked wrong. VCU coming off an A-10 championship. BYU low-key has been one of the best teams all year. Richie Saunders' great-grandpa invented tater tots. I mean, how could you pick against that? The Cougs won 80-71, setting up an interesting matchup versus Wisconsin in round 2. Finally, an upset I got right. Drake locked up Missouri, holding it to 57 points. America got their new favorite white boy in Bennett Sturts. He dropped 21 points on 8 of 11 shooting. After Missouri's piss-poor season last year, it's even a miracle they got to this point, but Drake quickly put an end to that. Kansas and Arkansas met at the 7-10 matchup, two teams that at the beginning of the year I thought could make deep runs. They end up playing against each other in round 1. F me, right? I'll just come out and say it. I had Kansas in my Elite 8. This one ended up being maybe the best game on day 1. Coach Cal finally got the Tennessee version of Jonas Adu. He went ballistic. 22 points on 10 of 19 shooting, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. Kansas played zone for the majority of the second half, which stumped Arkansas. KJ Adams left the game. The Jayhawks turned it over 5 times in the last 3 minutes of the game, ultimately ending their season and busting my bracket. That's what I get for trying to be audacious. Hunter Dickinson, get ready to learn McDonald's, buddy. Gonzaga shot 60% from 3 and took care of business versus Georgia. Yeah, I know, so many SEC teams. Every Zags starter scored double digits except Ryan Nemhard. He attempted 3 shots but had 8 assists. I don't know, I just find that hilarious. Gonzaga won by 21 and set up an upset alert matchup versus Houston in round 2. St. John's pummeled Omaha by 30. Big East Player of the Year RJ Lewis had 22 points on 8 of 14 shooting, 5 for 8 from 3. I wonder if he carried that over into game 2. Spoiler alert, he did not. Stay tuned. Wofford unfortunately does not have Fletcher McGee this year, and Tennessee took care of business. Chaz Lanier balled out, 29 points. He shot 6 for 13 from 3, putting up Dalton Connect numbers. The Vols won 77-62. I was pretty confident Utah State would beat UCLA. That was not the case. It shot 30% from the field, can't win many games doing that. Solid game from UCLA, who I had zero confidence in this tournament, won 72-47. Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington was probably closer than it should have been. Ever see a three-pointer before? Well, if you watch this game, you would have seen an NCAA tournament record of them. Texas Tech attempted 46 three-pointers. I mean, they only made 13 of them, and Kerwin Walton had 8 of them. He took 19 shots, all from 3. Point guard Elijah Hawkins messed around and almost got a triple-double, 14 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. I think the Red Raiders are a dark horse to win it all, but one step at a time, they won this one 82-72. Baylor and Mississippi State, God, I love spelling that word, gave us a great game to start day 2. If you never heard of Josh Hubbard, you know him now. The 5'11 Mississippi State point guard was on fire with 26 points on 11 of 18 shooting. Norchad Omier got himself another double-double. Freshman phenom VJ Edgecombe had maybe the best missed dunk of all time, setting up probably the farthest offensive rebound in history. Good guard play and clutch free throws gave the Bears a 75-72 win over the Bulldogs. Bobby Moe, Robert Morris University from Moon Township, Pennsylvania scared the dickens out of Alabama fans. This game was a lot closer than it should have been. Both teams shot below 30% from 3, but it seemed like every time you looked up, Cliff Amori was catching a lob. The Horizon League Defensive Player of the Year, Amarian Dickerson from RMU, had himself a crazy little spurt late in the second half. He finished with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Grant Nelson basically came off the bench like Superman to save the day. He played 7 minutes in the second half, scoring 5 points and pulling in 3 rebounds. Bama escaped a huge upset and won 90-81. Iowa State, without their second leading scorer, Keyshawn Gilbert, obliterated Lipscomb 82-55. Milan Momcilovic, I just like saying his name, had an efficient day, shooting 8 for 14, finishing with a team-high 20 points. Easy round 1 win for the Cyclones. TJ Otzelberger, get a bigger shirt. The 2-time defending champs UConn Huskies played maybe the worst team in the tournament, the Oklahoma Sooners. Jeremiah Fears is a stud, and he finished with 20 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. But the Huskies just too solid and continue their March Madness win streak, winning 67-59. Florida spanked Norfolk State and continued to show why it's one of the best teams in the country. Walter Clayton, of course, balled out, 23 points, 4 for 9 from 3. Florida advanced to round 2 in what ended up being a dangerous matchup for them. New Mexico basically busted my bracket with its win versus Marquette. Donovan Dent dropped 21 points for them. Cam Jones had an off game for Marquette. David Joplin led everyone with 28 points somehow, but New Mexico pulls off the 10-7 upset with a 75-66 win. Slow-ass St. Mary's pulled a matchup versus Vanderbilt. How many teams are in the SEC? The Gales were plus 13 on the glass. Vandy only turned it over 4 times, but still lost 59-56. St. Mary's, the slowest-paced team in the country, now matches up with Alabama, the fastest-paced team in the country. Wonder how that's going to play out. Memphis once again disappointed me by having hoopers and playing well in the regular season, then shitting the bed in the tournament. PJ Haggerty is one of the best scorers in the country, but his 7 for 23 shooting was not nearly good enough in this one. Dane Danger had 22 and 10, but Colorado State pulled off the second 12-5 upset of the tournament, winning 78-70. I don't think Mount St. Mary's was ready for what was about to come to them in its first-round matchup with Duke. I'll tell you right now, the final score was 93-49. Mount St. Mary's did not win. If you remember, Cooper Fly got hurt in the ACC tournament. He did play and start this game. I thought he should have just sat out. He played 22 minutes, had 14 points, 5 assists, and 7 rebounds. Tyrese Proctor had 6 threes. Enough said, Duke is scary. Well, UNC was back to looking like they don't belong. The Tar Heels lost to Ole Miss in round 1. At least RJ Davis ended his college career with a bang. Just kidding, he shot 1 for 8 from 3 and finished with 15 points. Sean Padula finished with 20 points for the Rebels. Don't let him get hot. Final score, 71-64, bad guys. Mr. March, Tom Izzo, and the Michigan State Spartans had a daunting matchup with the 15-seed Bryant on Friday. Not really. They held Bryant to 37% from the field and out-rebounded them by 25. Sophomore Cone Carr had 18 points and 9 rebounds, and of course it wouldn't be an MSU game without a big Carr dunk. Spartans roll 87-62. Kentucky maybe didn't score as many points as they could have versus Troy, but they still cruised in this game. Bottega Owe continued his heater of a season, finishing with 20 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. Kobe Brea, of course, shot 50% from 3. Wildcats won 76-57. Round 2 matchup was against Illinois. The Maryland Terrapins traveled to Climate Pledge Arena in Washington. See what I did there? For their first game. No worries from them, and ended up being the biggest tournament win in program history. Derek Queen had a quiet 12-15 game. Julian Reese, brother of Angel Reese, finished with 18 points and 9 rebounds. Maryland won 81-49. I thought Akron had a shot versus Arizona. The Zips were one of the best offensive teams in the country. Guess what? I was wrong again. Akron only put up 65 points. Arizona almost had 100. LOL. It scored 93. Caleb Love somehow limited himself to 9 shot attempts, but that didn't matter. Easy dub for Arizona. Oregon avoided a 12-5 upset versus Liberty. Big Nate Biddle overpowered Liberty with a 14-10 double-double. I thought we could have possibly saw another upset here, but wrong again. The Duckies quack into the second round with an 81-52 win. After beating Texas in the first 4, Xavier got a first-round matchup versus Illinois. Dalen Swain dropped a game-high 27 points for the Musketeers, but that wasn't enough as freshman Kasparis Yakachonis was a rebound away from a triple-double in his first NCAA tournament game. 16 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. The Fighting Illini fought hard and won 86-73.